Hi guys, I'm Rebecca Brosnan. I'm the creator of the Halo Planner. It's a grid-based quarterly planner, and it's the system I use to dream big, banish overwhelm, and improve every day. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe below or sign up for our newsletter at thehaloplanner.com. Today, I'm going to talk about task management and why it feels so out of control right now. We're all busy. I don't know anyone these days who feels like everything isn't just too much. There's too much of everything. But the biggest issue actually isn't the number of tasks that we have to complete each day, which is overwhelming already, but it's where they're coming from. Most of us manage email, text messages, WhatsApps, voice messages, group chats, and the tasks that we have to do are coming from all those multiple channels. Some messages are just irrelevant. Some are just information that you need to read and then you're done. And some of those inputs from multiple channels are asking us to do something. Without even realizing it, we are using all these multiple platforms for our task management. Unanswered emails, unarchived chats, they all become running to-do lists in multiple places in our electronic ecosystems. And usually managing that means reading the same message again and again and again. You're not failing. This system doesn't work for anybody. Let me talk about all the different systems that I use to manage tasks. It's no wonder everybody is overwhelmed. There's far too much to do. And a lot of this is coming from a really good place. There are so many opportunities. Travel's never been more accessible. I've never seen more beautiful party ideas or home organization systems and through the media I consume. There is so much I want to do, but it does create mental load problems. The most important part of task management is this. Task management on paper is so much easier than task management in your head. That's why I created the Halo Planner. I needed one place to capture everything coming from all the different sources. So I didn't constantly have to go back through all of my messages and reread them to try to figure out which ones were relevant, which ones I hadn't actioned, which one I could action now. Oftentimes those tasks that come up through WhatsApp, you don't answer them right away because you're waiting for something else. So for example, if someone asks me, do you want to have lunch next week? I may be waiting for multiple other meetings to confirm to see if I could have lunch next week. But the problem is I read that request of can you have lunch next week maybe 10 times before I'm actually able to answer it. That is super inefficient and it actually creates mental clutter. Once I write it down, it's on paper and I don't have to worry about constantly checking my messages. Every month, I perform what's called a brain dump. And that is getting all the ideas out of my head, all the shoulds, want tos, ideas, and put them in one page. I also go through all my messages and figure out what is the task that is preventing me from archiving this message. The Halo Planner actually provides these great multi-box layouts so that you can take all the tasks in your head and categorize them. It makes it so much easier to complete. Once it's on paper, you can make a plan of when you are going to complete these tasks. From there, tasks move into execution mode onto the daily pages. Because the Halo Planner is a dated book, I can look forward to any date in, say, 2 weeks' time in which I know I have to complete a task or I have to remember a certain thing. This could be anything from if my kids have to wear something other than their normal school uniforms, or I have to remember to register for a summer camp, on a certain time, on a certain day. I can put that on my task list for that day. So things like swim lessons, bring kit, or non-uniform day special clothes. This means I don't have to keep remembering all these tasks constantly or being really afraid that I'm going to forget it. I might think about remembering to bring the special costume for the school play 100 times and still forget it unless I had this system. In addition, when I'm sitting in meetings, a lot of times I'll have takeaway tasks. I talk to thousands of people every year about how they manage their time and tasks. And there's a few common ways people manage their tasks. One is they add them to their calendars. So their digital calendars are filled with reminders of all the things they have to do. The problem with this is our calendars are so jammed already with actual obligations. You can't really see on such a small screen what is an external obligation of your time, what is a nice to have task, and what is a real deadline. I've even seen people have different codes of putting like different numbers of exclamation points next to a calendar entry. But actually then your calendar just gets super messy. You blow through it, and when your day is over, those digital tasks gets forgotten. It's just like any other digital system. I really like having a separate task list to my notes from meetings. When I go into a meeting, I might have whole sections of notes that are summarizing key points or, raising key risks. There's not necessarily a task attached to those notes. So I like to have a separate section for my tasks. I think when I was using a regular notebook, if I would write a task, even if I put lots of stars next to it, I would still have to flip through all my meeting notes in order to find those tasks. It wasn't in a separate place where I could see all the actions I needed to take. Another tool I use for task management is the task sweep. Once a week, I flip through all the pages of my Halo planner and I gather all my incomplete tasks. And then if they're urgent or important, I will assign them to a day in the Halo planner, which I plan to do that task. Maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's next week. Maybe the idea just came to me today and that's why it's in my daily to-do list. It doesn't mean it has to be done today. If it's not urgent and it's not important and it's more of a nice to have, I will move it to the monthly brain dump, which I look at the end of the week to see if I need to migrate any of those nice to have tasks into a daily task list. This separates someday maybe or nice to have or ideas that I'm not quite in execution mode on into my real priorities that have to get done. Much of what we call self-care are also tasks. This is why routines become so essential. Daily routines, morning and evening, automate habits. Habits are just a task that you want to do over and over again. Routines are groupings and automation of those habits. Both habits and routines reduce decision fatigue and improve consistency, because if every morning at 6 a.m. you're reading 10 pages of nonfiction, then you don't even have to think about doing that task. In addition to morning and evening routines, I also like to group my weekly planning tasks, my weekly chores, and I even have a weekly rest routine so I can automate some sort of renewal and rest and kind of downshifting of my brain. Sometimes I'm so tired at the end of the week, I don't even want to think what I need to do for rest. But it's okay because I've already pre-thought about what makes me feel the most rested, and I've created a routine that I can complete on Sundays. For mental load and feeling like you're making progress, it's so important to decide which tasks are critical and which tasks are nice to have. Each day of the Halo Planner, I identify the top 3 tasks that I need to complete in the day. And that means I'm defining my win for the day. So if I complete those 3 tasks and my daily habits, I consider the day a 10 out of 10. Some of these tasks may be relationship driven, put my kids to bed, read to my kids before bed. Some of them may be self-care driven, run 5K in the morning, meditate before bed. Some of them are work tasks leading to my bigger possible work goals. Okay, to summarize, you need 3 things for an effective task management system. The first is you need one central source of truth where all of your tasks will go, preferably analog. Whether it's a piece of blank paper or a whole life organizational system like Halo, you need one place to put all your tasks. The second thing you need is a way to categorize them: important, urgent, nice to have. And the third thing you need is a way to move on beyond that task and start fresh. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Rebecca Brosnan, creator of the Halo Planner. You can order the Halo Planner on thehaloplanner.com or follow me on Instagram for more planning tips. Don't forget to press subscribe.